What's up, everyone? Today we're at my favorite yard trying to get a few components for the Buick GS. One of the big things is I must have scrapped the actual springs that go between the axle and the frame, and we need that so the body's not just gonna beat the heck out of the frame on the rear axle. So we're here just to get them, and it's a perfect example of why you don't go underneath these cars in these salvage yards. They are totally dangerous. As you can see, she had a rough life before she even got here, and then sitting here really didn't help. She is a dangerous thing. So before you go sticking anything like your arms in spots where it'll, you know, get cut right off, you got to stabilize things. Be very, very smart. Do not go underneath them. I'm curious to know what rear end this is. Haven't really got to that point yet, but probably an 8.2, because this is definitely a lower tier Skylark than like the common rabble. Unfortunately, someone already pulled the bumper off a few decades ago, and as you can see, looked like she was already pretty rough, but there doesn't look like to be much salvageable material off of it. So unfortunately, even the brackets are not really any better shape than what's on ours. So we're gonna just go ahead and leave them right where they are. Anyways, don't go underneath these things. So anyways, we got to pull the springs off. I got to get something underneath here to stabilize it. They should be able to be easily removed. As far as the rear axle, I don't know, it's probably an 8.2. I'd have to take a look at it, but not really interested in putting my hands in places they don't belong. All right, let me go ahead and get these springs off. Oh, and real quick, I poked over here, and you can see even the 72 has a very late 60s era back part of the trunk, and somehow still has a 70s era hump above the axle. So very strange, but yeah, she's pretty much rotten, guys. Pretty much rotten. So it'd be nice to get the springs out of it, at least something. It's actually not too hot of a day, but boy, she's humid. As you can see, we went ahead and we've stuffed, you know, whole wheels with rims underneath there to at least kind of give us something to balance the vehicle on. Again, don't go underneath it. This actually, you can see it folded like that, so it was fun getting the springs out. But the springs are out, so half the battle. I already started carrying stuff back to the entrance there, so I'm gonna look around a little bit more. I know there's one other vehicle that I think is like a 69 or something. We have a 71. What was that one? That's a LeSabre. That won't do us any good. But it's pretty much the only Skylark in the salvage yard. I bet you this thing was pretty cool when it was, you know, fresh, but that was a long time ago. All right, guys, let's head back to the entrance. Guys, I don't know about you, but I am really excited to see that body on this frame. Hopefully everything goes smoothly and we're able to do it tomorrow. Even if we have to do it in our driveway, we'll figure something out. The springs were about 20 bucks. We are going to upgrade them down the road, but we needed something to actually hold the frame, the weight of the body on the frame, so that it wasn't just sitting on the rear end. It was quite literally a bad time. You can kind of see that we got some flex in that one arm. Don't buy the eBay stuff. I don't know. I'm not very impressed by them. But yeah, these are what we are. And we even got the front ones on. They are not fun to do with no weight on over the front of the vehicle, or any weight at all on it. It was miserable. But they're on there. Tomorrow morning we'll go ahead and start putting the body on. Well, guys, unfortunately the lift was unavailable to us for today, and I know I promised that this Saturday we were going to go ahead and do the, you know, pull the body off and swap it out, and instead of erring on the side of caution, we did it anyways. It took a couple 6x6 and a few other things. I really didn't feel comfortable showing you exactly, because do not replicate. If you can run these things off on a lift, phenomenal. If you want to build out all of your structure and everything and do it that way, I chose a different route, got it done. And I still have 4x4s underneath it because the captured bolts aren't captured anymore. The actual structure is fine. We just need to clean it out. They all broke or just spun. So 4x4s while we repair that. We scoot over through here. This one snapped. That one had to be peeled open. If you go underneath the section here, as well as right here, they just sit on there, so there's no actual bolts that go through it. But we want to make sure that all the steel is nice and solid there. Fortunately, it looks like it's just a fair amount of surface rust, but until I get a wire brush in there and really go nuts, I don't really know. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves on that, I want to check that out. Of course, we scoot over here. As you can see, I started cutting out the floor pan. I want to do it kind of surgically. We have a little bit of repair work to be done on the inner wells and the outer wells. I don't think we need to replace the whole thing. And, you know, if we don't have to replace the whole thing, that's going to be good. If we can do the little patch panels they have, fantastic. But obviously, these have seen much better days. So we need to get them completely out. We have the replacements right here. This is both the actual frame mounts as well as the fuel tank mounts. And like I told you the other day, unfortunately, we did find quite a bit of rust in the crossbar, and all the 1970s era crossbars, whether it was 70, 71, 72, none of them were correct. So I took a gamble. I found this one right here. It's for an early 60s. If you go, or mid 60s rather, the captured nuts line up to where the mounts go. As you can see, we're still not 100% lined up, so it's kind of off. But scoot this over here. It lines up perfectly. And I think what we'll do before we install this, we'll take and replace that one, and we'll replace that one. We're not quite ready to replace quarter panels, and if I can, I would like to just do the bottom section of the quarter panel. I know we have some rust going through here, but I would like to use as much original steel as possible. So if we can just repair the wheel well, I would prefer going that route over replacing the entire quarter panel, because it's very solid through it. It's not, to me, we're still on a budget, so we can't get too carried away. And the budget's gonna have to go pretty much towards the floor in here. We need to replace the cross braces. They actually make from rocker panel to rocker panel, and every single one of the cross braces all the way back right to there. So if we can get our hands on one of those, we cut that out. We take all the spot welds out, repair any of the steel underneath the cowl. Before we do any of the cutting out, we do need to weld, you know, brace this thing up real nice. We need to remove this section right here so that we can replace it. We're going to delete that. We'll do something else. And yeah, that way we can replace the floor. We'll do patches where we can, as far as, you know, the quarter panels, the inner wells, outer wells, the floor in the back. So the other issue I've been running into the floor in the back, the pieces I was given for this will have to take some modification in order for us to get it in here properly. Again, this being a kind of like mashup between 70s and, yeah, so we're going to have to do a little bit of finagling within here, and because it doesn't fit 100%, but we'll make it fit. Yeah, guys, the big step, the real big step is getting the frame at least underneath it, and we can move forward from that. Very excited, and it's a big step, guys. I'm very pumped. So until the next time, remember, keep your shiny side up, and God bless.